Good day and welcome. And I'm really pleased that we have Gloria McGowan with us today. And our focus is a chapter from my life and book. And our theme is, or the title is, Comes What May. Gloria, good day, and how are you?
Good evening, Rudy. I'm good. Thank you for having me this evening. Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Good.
And yourself?
Yes, all is well. All is well.
Yeah,
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
yeah.
So before we get started, tell us a bit about yourself and your family background.
Okay. Well, I'm a wife. I'm a mother of two grown-up children. I also have 5 grandsons. Yes, I was born in Jamaica in a beautiful parish of St. Mary, and a little place called Roadside, Islington. Not on the roadside, but a place called Roadside. And the youngest of 7 children, 4 boys and 3 girls. I came to England in the late 1960s as a teenager and completed my education, and then pursued a career in nursing, whereby I attained various positions as ward sister, clinical nurse manager, senior nurse advisor. And alongside this, for some years, for about 17 years, I was also a senior pastor for a local church. Yes. I'm retired now. Although one doesn't really retire from ministry, I'm retired from my secular job. Ministry-wise, I attend a church in Bedford because I lived in London for several years, and about 6 years ago moved to Bedford. So I'm on the pastoral team of that local church, serving the church and the community. I am also very active in barrel ministry, whereby we send barrels with foodstuff and clothing and things for schools to several islands in the Caribbean. And we do this on a monthly basis. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Having retired then and a little bit more time on my hands, hence this book. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Mm.
Okay, so you're not going to give away too much today, but that title, Comes What May, we're told, delves into the profound impact of faith when navigating life's hardships.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah, tell us, what is the book about then?
okay, first of all, the title. I chose the title, Comes What May, on reflection from several years ago, being a teenager, when many people used to testify, and at the ending of their testimonies, they used to say, comes what may, I will serve the Lord. I will never give up. And reflecting back, as teenagers, we used to say that as well, not realizing the impact that life could have on you, and circumstances that you may go through. And you've got to think, will my faith still hold? Will I carry on? Will I hold on? Yes. So yes, thinking about that. Yeah. In writing the book, I chose the title because of the situation that I would have gone through and the family would have gone through at that time.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, of course, you see the anchor there.
Yeah.
Faith is an anchor.
That's right. there's a songwriter that said it's an anchor that is steadfast and sure. And sometimes, you know, in life, we make these promises and we never know what's going to come our way. You know, we never know that comes what may. And, you know, we have to, if we're going to go on, if we're going to stand the test of time, then, you know, we've got to trust God and enable him to see us through those difficult times.
Yes, because we never know, none of us know when we're going to need that anchor to hold fast as we navigate our way through the situation that we find ourselves in. So you've touched on it, but tell us in some detail what motivated you then to write this book at this time.
Well, as I said, having retired, a little bit more time on my hands, but also I wanted to give encouragement to those that would have gone through similar situations. And I might share just a little bit of some of the situations that I encountered and the family encountered. The book is written about a particular chapter in my life, in fact, you know, so the title of the program really is well suited. It's a chapter of my life whereby my son was arrested. There was what you call a sting that was set up. The police set up a studio, a fake studio in the community. And, you know, quite a few young men used to attend the studio, not knowing that it was fake. And so they were encouraged, so to speak, and to supply guns. But the persons that encouraged them were actually police. And that was, and they were promised that they would get music contracts. So I suppose being asked several times, some of them succumbed, and hence the video was there with them handing over whatever. So of course the case was sealed for them. And so a few of them were arrested and imprisoned. And, you know, going through that was a difficult time, extremely difficult time. And on top of that, as a family, I can laugh now, but, you know, it was very, very traumatic at the time. We were set up, my husband, my daughter, and myself, we were set up. Someone actually planted drugs on us. And so, you know, being arrested for that and being in the limelight as a pastor and someone in the community that some, you know, people are looking up to, just dealing with that situation. And in fact, the timing that even the arrest took place and finding out where he was, that was a difficult time because there was lots of things going on and I had various responsibilities and there were appointments that I didn't feel I could cancel. And so it was dealing with that at the time. And so having gone through that and, you know, coping with a full-time job, coping with ministry, walking alongside others that were in the situation, and dealing with all the other things of ministry, it was a particularly difficult time. And I can say it's the grace of God and it's my faith in God and actually the word of God sustaining me and helping me to navigate through those particular difficult times. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, how do you feel in terms of having to share this aspect of your life, you know, public, as you said, given the role and the standing that you had in the community?
Yeah. You know, on writing the book at first, you know, I felt a bit nervous. And in fact, many people have said to me, you know, during your life experience, you've got lots of experience, you should be writing a book. But some of them did not know the extent of life experience, and maybe they were looking for another book. But then having walking alongside others in the situation, and even others in ministry that their children have gone through difficult times, and the stigma that attached to it, I wanted was to, you know, help to get rid of some of that stigma, because you sometimes feel that you're judged, that, you know, you didn't bring up your children well. And as a Christian, you shouldn't be going through that situation. So I wanted was to, you know, deal with some of that. And I've got a lovely family, I must say, a very good, supportive family. My husband, my daughter, my nieces, some of them are here on the program tonight. And yes, and I've had encouragement from friends, you know, to write a book. Some of them didn't know what I was going to write about. Yes, so yes, yeah.
So when you think about your perspective on life now, and people come to you with their challenges and the issues, the family and, you know, life's issues, how have you changed now then when people ask you for your counseling and advice?
You know, Rudy, I've always maintained in life that I would not judge others, because I've seen, and I'm glad for that, because before this actually happened to me, I've seen and others that have been through difficult times, their children not maybe turning out the way that they had hoped, or things have happened to them. And I've always tried not to judge, because, you know, only God sees the bigger picture. And we're there to try to encourage each other and strengthen each other and pray and, you know, with each other. And I have gone through that, having lived through that situation. I had to take my own advice, actually. Yeah, I had to take my own advice in praying, seeking the Lord, and yes, and actually walking beside those that were going through, praying with them. And yeah, yeah.
You really are now trauma informed. So.
I am indeed. And, you know, in sharing those, what has happened, when you've been through a traumatic situation or a worrying situation such as that, it is good to share. Sometimes you're not able to share like me to share in the book, but it's good to have someone to talk to, because it gives you a release. And I can say, in fact, in writing this book, it's cathartic, it's therapeutic. Yes, it helps to release. Yes, and yeah.
How long did it take you to write the book and start?
Well, I stopped and started because, as I said, I felt nervous at the time. So it took me a year. I started and stopped, and I was thinking, you know, I need to protect the individuals in the book. Hence, the situations were quite real, but the names of individuals, I've given them pseudonyms. But then, having spoken to those individuals, they say, no, just write, just write. just write the book. And for myself, now I realize that sometimes it's not all the time that you're judged. Sometimes you feel as if you're judged, but it's not all the time. People do understand. Yeah.
So, so what was the feeling when you had written the last sentence of the book?
As I say, a release. Yeah. And I felt relieved that, look, at this grand old age of, I was able to write a book, and yes, and put it out there, and hopefully it will help others. Yes. Yeah.
So have you got any other project for the future?
Yes, I am writing another book. I'm in the process of writing another book. I'm writing this time about my experience being a female pastor. And I'm sure a lot of female pastors out there, and especially for young ones that might be thinking of going in pastoral field, would like to know what it's like being a female pastor, and how coping with myself, coping with a full-time job, supporting families, and still being able to carry on in that role. Yeah, because I was not only a pastor during those times, and even in the difficult times, taking other roles as a assistant regional overseer, which is something that was quite unusual. And in fact, for our church and organization, that was never. So being the first woman
How did
to
you manage
do that. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
So before we bring in some of the visitors who've decided to support you, tell us where the book can be get from. Where can we get the book, I should say?
The book can be obtained through Amazon. Yeah. And in fact, it's UK and USA. Yeah, wherever you are, you're able to get it. And also you can visit my website. It tells you a little bit about me and the book as well.
Your website is?
And it's gloriamcg.com. And I can be also contacted on the email, gloriamcg@hotmail.com.
Excellent. Excellent. So we're going to give the opportunity for some of your supporters, if they'd like to say a few words in support of you, if there's anybody, or if they've got any perspectives on anything that you've had to say. We'll give them an opportunity. So it doesn't look as though we have. Let's just double check. So I will ask you another question. I'm quite interested in your second book, because obviously we're now talking about gender equality and some of the challenges that the additional challenges. And I'm thinking now of as you mentioned, the next generation of female faith leaders, pastors, whatever their title is so important. So what would be the key pieces of advice that you would now give as you reflect on what you went through to a young woman in her 20s, say, just embarking and feels that they have the faith, they want to do more, they're interested in social action, and so what would you say to them? And they're not clear yet exactly what it is they want to do, but they're willing to serve.
Yeah, I think we all need a mentor, someone that we can look up to, and someone that could help to guide us. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to share your feelings. Also, don't be afraid to say that I don't know how to do such, because then, you find that you will not get the help that you need. And sometimes as women, we feel as if we've got to outdo the men. And we can't outdo. We must realize that we are laborers together. Yes. For me, when I started out, I was sort of, I felt a little bit overwhelmed because there were some great men that preceded me in the ministry, particularly in that local church. And thank God I had one of them that, I was able to get support from, because some of them turned out to be international presbyters and, overseers and so forth. So I was able to sort of ask questions and to learn from them. I also had a very good prior partner as well, which was my mother in the church. And she's continued to be my mother over the years, and even in those difficult times. So it's good to have those people around, and, know that we're constantly learning. And yes, we will make mistakes because we're human, but then, learn from those mistakes and, yeah, move along. And also realize that you cannot do everything. Yeah. So, we've got to learn that we've got a team, build a team, and trusted people that, you can depend on. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good piece of advice. And if somebody's just starting out on the road, join a team, be part of a team, look, learn, get the experience, and that's really important. So we're going to close now. So I'd just like to remind everybody, the book Comes What May is available on Amazon, or you can go directly to Gloria McGowan.com, gloriamcg.com, or you can send an email to Gloria McG, is it?
gloriamcg
MCG
at hotmail.com. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Rudy, can I just give one piece of advice to everyone that's on this line and those that might be listening in future, is that we all go through difficult times. Yeah. And mine might be different from yours, but we will all go through difficult times, whether we are Christians or non-Christians. But the difference is in being a Christian is that we've got the word, and we can pray, and we can seek comfort from the Lord, and he does comfort. Also remember that when you're going through your situation, as David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. We have to remember that we are going through, we're walking through, and it will come to an end, that situation. It will come to an end. And I want to encourage those pastors and ministers out there that will go through their situations, if they've not gone through it as yet, that yes, we are not exempt. from difficulties. And sometimes the difficulties that we face is because we're ministers. Remember that as a minister, we are targeted by the enemy, you know, and he will target us so that the sheep will be scattered. Yes. But remember that God is always there and he will see us through, and continue to pray, continue to hold on to your faith, and, you know, your testimonies that you give, sometimes you'll be tried. Yes. Comes what may. Yes. There's a trial of your testimony. You've got to live out those testimonies. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And look forward to seeing you again soon, and remind everybody you can go to Amazon and get the book from Gloria McGowan, author of Comes What May. Yeah. Thank you and good night.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rudy, and good night, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. God bless you.
For those of you, this will be rebroadcast this evening, 10:30 p.m. London time, on freshfmradiolondon.com. That's freshfmradiolondon.com. Inspired music and culture. Thank you and good night.